Alrighty, we're live. Hello, hello, hello. Okay, we're all good. All good. I feel I'm a bit quiet. I'm a bit quiet. Yes, I look a bit quiet. I turn that up. Is that the right? Testing one. Ooh, okay. Yep, that's louder. Okay, how about now? How about? Ooh, is that okay? I think so. Hopefully that's loud enough. Maybe it's the game that's too loud? No, I look quite quiet there. Does that change anything? Okay, what about now? Nope, still ever. No, that's all good. Okay, maybe. How's that? Testing 1, 2. Is that okay? Okay, so I had just kind of been checking back the last stream just to see how, to remind myself where I'd left off in Katawa Shoujo, and the mic sounded very loud, like it was peeking out and getting a little crackly. So I kind of wanted to try and fix that a little. It's just the gain dial on my microphone is quite sensitive. Like, I don't need to adjust it much to make quite a difference in the gain. So I'm hoping that's okay. But now I look too quiet. Maybe just a little touch higher, like that, maybe? Okay, how about that? I will go with that, mate. It would help if I could just learn to talk louder. Okay, and of course, it's going to glitch out a little on us. So I just need to wait for this to come back. And good morning, my dear. Welcome to the stream. I'm just waiting for... There we go. Okay. Dewey decimated. It's always weird when it's like, no, you go back into it and there's no background noise whatsoever. The next day, I walk up to my usual vending machine at lunch, only to find that it's out of my favourite drink. Secreted so far away from most of the classrooms, between a storm and a library, it's like no one knew about it. I'd expected a vending machine so close to the library to be booming with customers, but then again, the library is empty most of the time, and anyone who goes there is only doing it to look for stuff to pad a paper with. No one stays there longer than they absolutely have to. For the past month, it's been working out in my favour, but the trade-off with a vending machine no one knows about is that it's never restocked. Yep. That's one problem. No, I never got the impression from any of the other routes that the library was a particularly empty place. I get the feeling like Hisao only doesn't notice it's like busier than it is, because in Shizune's route it feels like we're... I don't feel like we've hardly been to the library. Whereas in Lily, Hanako... Yeah, in Lily and Hanako's route, we were there quite a bit, because that's where Hanako always was. And I feel in Rin and Emi's route, like, he was there fairly often. That was where most of the interactions with Yuko were at. Settling for a can of orange soda, I decide on drinking it here instead of waiting until I get to the cafeteria, when the library door opens next to me. Oh, hello, Yuko. I've been looking for you. Oh. Okay. Yuko seems to be acting a lot more assertive than usual today, although it isn't enough to keep her from going back to mumbling immediately afterwards. We need Yuko's sage advice. I suppose Yuko's advice can never go wrong. It doesn't feel like we're in quite the same situations as in other routes. In other words, it's always been kind of at the like the lowest point that Yugo swooped in and kind of got on, like accidentally said something really helpful, and then immediately tries to backtrack on it. Return your books, please. I mean, the library's books. The books you checked out are really overdue. Some of them are on waiting lists. Oh, whoops. Oops, I forgot. I keep checking out new ones and forget to return the old ones. Did they not have a... Don't most libraries, and like particularly like school and like college libraries, have like policies of only like X amount of books out at a time? So, like I think at our school library, you could only check out I think 3 books at most. And like it will kind of like, no, you can't borrow any more until you return the ones you've already borrowed. That happens to me all the time at university library. It's so embarrassing. Do they send someone to try and get you to bring them back? No, the university library is bigger. They don't notice if I happen to borrow something longer than normal. It's convenient because their policy on keeping books too long is really strict. Stricter than here. School library you were assisting in had a limit of how many books? Yeah. I kind of thought, like, in my experience, like, that had always been standard, that libraries, like, keep track of, like, who's borrowing, and kind of... No, you can borrow new books when you've brought back the old ones. No. I suppose... Maybe it's just because I never over-borrowed books, but I remember as well, like, most libraries here, like, don't have any, like, fees on it. Because a lot of libraries were, like, state-funded. I like how, despite what she said, Yuko has no problem with borrowing books for longer than she is supposed to anyway. It makes her being so on top of my own lateness a little hypocritical. It takes a thief, I guess. Okay. The slight difference, Hisao, is like, Yugo is, like, on the library staff. Even if she personally thinks, like, yeah, I understand it, I get where you're coming from. She has a job to do. That school district handbook you would actually slowed. Oh, okay. Yeah, I suppose that's fair. Like you can graduate when you've like you've got all your loose ends tied up. Catching on to the meaning of her words around the same time I do, Yugo clams up and starts backpedaling furiously. That's different from this situation. It's totally different. Yugo stares at her nails for a second, as if she really wants to bite them, but is too self-conscious to do so. For instance, how long it's been. You checked out some of these books months ago, Hisao. Sorry, it's just that other people want to read them too. If you're a slow reader, that's okay, though... Okay, several months... Okay, so this is... I think someone had mentioned, I can't remember if it was you, Muni, or... I think it might have been Kendi, said that while Shizune's is like one of the shortest routes in terms of the time, like how long it takes to go through it, it's one of the longest in terms of like how long, like how far into the year you go. Because I remember, was it? Yeah, Hanako's route was quite short, because like you never even got to the point where in Lily's route she was even talking about having to move over to Scotland. Like it felt like most routes like were resolved within the course of the summer. That was probably Kendi, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I was just thinking because I think it's mostly you and Kendi are the ones who pop in who know the most about this game. But yeah, it's just the way you were saying, like, no, you have months books that are months out of. At least in my mind, like I wouldn't say it's been months, unless it's been like at least 3 or 4. Otherwise, it's a month or over a month or a couple of months. I mean, to be fair, it could just be the writing team uses it. The yeah, Yugo's using a little bit of hyperbole, but because I'm trying to remember, like Hisao only arrived like, during the summer. I still wish one thing I would love is just like a date if they had like dates. Let me see how far how far into the year we are, how much time is passing. No, it's a total screw up on my part. To be honest, I haven't even read some of them. I shouldn't keep taking out books when I have a backlog. Summer, it's like the middle of school. Uh, no, middle of school year in Japan, I think, is more like middle of fall. Or like, yeah, the beginning to the middle of fall, because it's, I think March is when they're, end of March is when their school year ends, if I recall correctly. No, but yeah, it's definitely not. He definitely did join like in. It's not really the beginning. The beginning, you could call it. Spring's graduation. Yeah, and it is like early spring. I remember. Like it. Main reason I remember is because it's like Sakura season. But yeah, because I know as well. It's like not well. I suppose we're given. Hold up. Let me. Oh, I'm curious now. I can't remember the exact date. I'm fairly sure it's in July, but Tanabata. Because that's one holiday that is mentioned specifically that does have a set date. Okay, so Tanabata is July 7th. And that takes place after the summer festival. So, okay, Hisao must have arrived actually like fairly early in the summer. Like some point during June. Okay. And I'll just... Oops. I forgot to put OBS back on top. And now I need to get the... Katawa Shoujo. There we go. Okay, I'm so... Hisao probably arrived early to mid-June, I'm thinking. Because I think they said like there was a couple of weeks between the school festival and Tanabata. And then he had like at least a week. Maybe two. I remember a week or two, I think, between him arriving and the festival, because it definitely wasn't too long, because the festival's the end of Act 1. So we had Tanabata. Then immediately after that was kind of summer holiday. Okay, now, sorry, I'm overthinking things now. I'm curious. I'm trying to get a timeline going in my head. Summer holiday. Or school. School summer holidays. About 5 to 6 weeks. So Have we had the summer holiday? Have we had the summer holidays here? Oh, and I forgot to put OBS back. Have we seen this? I mean, I know he's had mentioned summer holidays. But was it just a week with? So okay, I'm just hazarding a guess that it's probably September at the moment. I don't know. It's one thing I do like in stories is being able to like have a chronology of how long are these events happening. But anyway, I'm getting well distracted now. That's not good. Yeah, it really isn't. Now I'm starting to copy her habit of trailing off quietly. Her awkwardness is very contagious for some reason. Awkwardness is contagious, I think. Because I think, like, when someone's acting awkward, they're not really giving you much to go back to. Hatful Boyfriend did pretty good with telling you the date, does he? Yeah. I think the like bits I like popped in to see, I did remember, like, didn't they have, like, in one of the corners, like, a date? Or maybe my memory's, like, overlaying Persona on top of that, because I know Persona games always have the date in the corner of the screen. But I think it's just nice in stories like this when sometimes on top right or yeah, it was somewhere in the top. But I just think it's nice, like, especially like when games do like skip over time, just to like let you know that kind of, hey, time is passing, and to kind of give you an idea of, because like if this is September, then I can like think more easily, kind of, okay, like Hisao has had plenty of time with Misha and Shizune that we just haven't seen. Whereas, like, I think, like, with Hanago's route, like, it felt like we were seeing the majority of Hisao's time with Hanago. Like, there didn't seem like a lot of time skips that were all that significant. That said, I'm surprised. Yuko seems almost normal today. Although, every now and then, her waitressy nervous tics keep popping back up. And come to think of it, she didn't act this way when I first met her. She was a little clumsy and neurotic, but it wasn't anywhere near as severe until Shizune, Misha and I ran into her at the Shanghai. It could be that Yuko has a complex about having kids from the school seeing her waitressing. I guess it was a little odd for her to pick the closest cafe to the school to work in then. In that case, maybe the place having so few customers could be considered a lucky break. Well, I get it. I'll return them right after school. As soon as possible, please. Wait. Can I ask you for one more thing? Sure, what is it? I have to go for a while, but I can't just leave the library empty. Sorry, but can I ask you to watch it while I'm gone? Just for a little bit. I'll be right back as soon as possible. You're in the student council, so I'm sure if you did it, it would be okay. Okay, do you know what you're doing, Hisa? Like, if something... Alright, I'll do it. Don't worry about... Thank you. Yuko quickly slides forward as if she's so grateful she's about to give me a hug. But she stops 2 centimeters into it, which ultimately just makes the gesture look extremely confusing. I'm also surprised that she can control her momentum so well, since she seems kind of clumsy. Before I can say as much as you're welcome, she's already dashing off with the urgency of someone late to an appointment. That could be the case, but I wouldn't feel safe assuming so. It's Yuko, and she seems like the kind of person to treat everything that way. Now that I'm in the library, I feel a bit silly. I don't really know what I'm supposed to do. Should I sit down like I normally would and read? It probably would do, but wouldn't meet Yugo's high standards. Maybe I should sit at the librarian's desk and give anyone who comes in a stern and analytical glare. I use Shizune's as a starting point and practice it a couple of times in the mirrored surface of a pen. Why do you have to, like, glare? I think it looks pretty good. Frustratingly, no one comes in, so I give up on the idea quickly and decide to just go looking for Hanako instead. Okay. Why? In this route, like, he sounded like, have you interacted with Hanako, like, beyond that one other time you came into the library and found her? Are you just trying to scare, like, the one person who might still be here out? It's deserted. I think I see someone, but the second I blink, whoever it is gone. As soon as I return to Yuko's desk and crack open an interesting-looking book, a familiar person swings in front of me like a falling pendulum. Who would swing in front of you like a falling... The movement makes me think Misha, but I also don't know if Misha would be quiet about it. Oh. Hi, you're in school. We don't often see you here. Yo, librarian, I've been looking for you for like 10 minutes. What? It's you? Man, you must really get around. Or the student council makes you get around. Those bitches. How could they? You rarely see the other girls. Yeah, that's a point. Though, to be fair, I wouldn't have been too surprised to see more of Hanako and Lily in Shizune's route, just because they have a history. Oh, but boy. This Shizune's route definitely feels kind of like Kenji's route as well. We're seeing a lot more of him here. And I think this is the only route other than Kenji's like own route, like his ending at the festival. I think this is the only route that had like actual one of like the artwork scenes of Kenji, like not just the portrait like here. Slave drivers. He must be exaggerating because it took me 30 seconds just to do a slow walk around the whole place. The thought is overridden by my surprise to see him. Where did you come from? What are you doing here? What? Can't a guy go to the library now? I can't even go to the library without some young buck like you giving me the third degree over it. I see some girl coming in here all the time, but no one ever asks her what she's doing here. Is it because she reads and I don't? I mean, if you don't read and you're coming into the library, that does raise some questions about what you're doing. He must be talking about Hanako. Although I suppose they both avoid people, I want to tell him that reading is what you usually do in a library. So if he's not reading, whatever he's doing is bound to make him look way more suspicious than her. In the end though, I'm too surprised by him practically appearing out of thin air. That doesn't tell me what you're doing here. I'm here because of you. His response makes me feel confused. Maybe I fell asleep and this is all some weird dream and this Kenji isn't real, but really my subconscious? Is he going to start giving me deep but vaguely worded advice now? Because of you, I got chased out of my dorm by feminists. Now I wander this library like a soldier without a country, or a ghost. I should haunt you for ruining things for me. What? It's a shame. It would have been an interesting dream, but it seems like this is the real deal. Yeah, you had to start working with women, and that brought them to my door. You remember that? You should, since you were there. After that day, I knew they were onto me. I should have trusted my instincts, but I was young and stupid. That wasn't even a week ago. Then my dad called and said one of my letters hadn't been delivered. The post office couldn't have lost it, so it must have been intercepted. Information warfare. That's when I knew my secret hideout was compromised. Now I'm on the run, like a fugitive. It's code red. So you weren't chased out, you just assumed. Dorm rooms aren't secrets. They put your name and number on a board right in the doorway. I know! I saw that! They're diabolical. Why not just put up a big Wild West Wanted poster if they're gonna be like that? Wanted, dead or alive. Probably alive, so they can clone me or turn me into a grasshopper. Jumping without warning into the empty chair opposite me, Kenji takes out a cigarette and starts spinning it between his fingers. I forgot that he does like have cigarettes and alcohol, doesn't he? I've never seen him smoking before, so it must be for effect. Oh no. Was there smoking involved, or was it just the scotch in Kenji's root? Because no, the cigarettes I'm remembering was with Rin's root. Still not happy about that. I can't even live where I want to anymore. This is where it all begins. The tactical brilliance. I mean, once they're in your home, it's over, like termites. If the feminist plan for our dominance starts there, where the fuck can we go? Kenji wasn't sure what's Yeah, no, I definitely remember the drinking because of, yeah, it gets Hisao killed. The only question is how they could take a page out of the termite playbook when women are naturally repelled by wood. You can never go home again. Is that how the saying goes? Okay, part of me wanted like Kenji to explain what's his reasoning behind women being repelled by wood. Like, where does that, like, fit into his conspiracy theory? Oh. Like, does he not see them using well, I suppose he doesn't. He probably doesn't see them using pencils, given his eyesight. Man, I don't know about never. I was just there. I don't know anywhere else I can shower and get new clothes. And eat. And use the bathroom. And watch TV. I have to keep watching the news to keep informed. For someone ousted from his dorm room and living on the run, he sure has no qualms about going back there several times a day for long periods of time. But by now he's slowly turned away from me and is talking to a revolving display of murder mysteries. There's really no point in interrupting him, I guess. I finish off my soda and throw the can into the basket near the door. It hits the rim, but goes in anyway. I silently pump my fist. Also, I kind of would feel bad for Hanako if she is in the room and is just overhearing Kenji's rant. Kenji quickly gets up and starts to head towards the door. I wasn't really paying attention. I hope I didn't fist pump at an inappropriate moment. Where are you going? You kept sucking down that juice. So, it wasn't even juice. It was soda. And it's gone now. What do you mean sucking it down? I had 2 sips. Yeah, right. You had like 50 million sips. That's not even possible. Maybe for you. I go beyond the impossible all the time. Okay, whatever. Now I'm thirsty too. I'm going to go get my own juice. I'll be right back. No rush. Oh. He does come almost right back. So quickly that I suspect he knows about my secret vending machine. I got you one too. Hope you like grape juice. Or even for the pizza now. Thanks. I want to tell him that I lent him nearly 10 times the cost of a can of grape juice, but that might make me seem petty. Unopposed, Kenji sits down and starts furiously drinking juice like a man with a vendetta against grapes. You know, it's a lucky break for me that I managed to run into here, man. I kinda need you to do me a favor. Of course you do. Although it's cynical, I wonder if him getting me juice was so he could ask me for this favor. If so, it's very transparent and poorly timed. I doubt Kenji would think about something so deeply though. Just asking for things straight out is more his style. I need you to recommend me some books. But I thought you didn't read. How did you know? You told me. You said you think people discriminate against you because you don't read. Well, they do. And I do read. I read audiobooks, because that's the way of the future. I have to read a book a month for literary studies though. And I found out that the school doesn't really accept such classics as advanced cryptography. If I don't read a bunch of books, they're gonna fail me. I can't fail literary studies. That would make me illiterate. That would mean my mom was right. My mom can't be right. I'll just have to study literacy as much as possible. What about doing some extra credit? No thanks. It's bad enough I'm gonna have to carry around these stupid things now. He picks up a dictionary, flips through it, and places it on the murder mystery rack behind him. Christ. I hate things being in the wrong shelf. I can't believe this is actually the medium that our ancestors used to look at porn. Oh boy. I spit my drink all over the book I'm still holding, damaging it beyond any hope of repair. I quickly check the back and see its suggested retail price is 7,900 yen. I think I might have a heart attack. That would have been about 30 pounds-ish. That is a pricey book. Could be worse. No, I mean, I've been to some, like, college libraries, particularly when I was considering studying theology. I went to the library there, and like some of the books they have are like you do not want to damage them. That would be there's no replacing those books. Wow, destroyed. Shouldn't have done that though. They take vandalism super seriously here. You're gonna get canned. He chortles, amused, before taking an extremely long, loud sip from his can of juice. It's not vandalism. I didn't do it on purpose. You made me do it, with your words. What do you mean canned? I don't want to be canned. Oh, caned. Why do I think canned? Because it isn't like being canned like slang for being fired. Wait, chill out. I didn't mean they actually cane you. They just make you pay for it. And really, really yell at you. It's like they were going to bite my ass off. Still not that big a deal. I don't care if it's figurative. I don't want to get caned, or get my ass bitten off, or any kind of punishment, you dumbass. What am I going to do? I'm the only person in here that she knows of anyway. I can't even throw the book into trash. It'll be found, and then she'll know. Damn, dude, stop being so weird. How is it weird to not want to be fined? Man, stop flipping out, man. I'm not flipping out, just trying to save money. So cheap. I'm about to strangle him when I hear Misha's wahaha coming up the hallway. Apparently Kenji hears it too and uses the opportunity to quickly vanish behind the autobiography section, like the wind. Hi, Hichan! Misha shouts exuberantly, dragging an embarrassed Yugo behind her. Hichan, were you talking to yourself? On one hand, saying yes could make me look kind of crazy. On the other hand, if I blow Kenji's cover, he might go off and make me look crazy by association. Yes. That's okay. Don't be embarrassed, Hichan. I do it too sometimes, when I'm alone. La 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 la. Nothing happened while I was gone. Absolutely nothing. It smells like grapes. I'm wearing grape-scented cologne. You weren't earlier, Hisa. I lie brazenly and obviously. From her reaction, I'm going to assume that she knows I'm lying, or thinks I have an abysmal sense for colognes. Since the can of grape juice I drank from is still right there, it's likely to be the former. Fortunately, she doesn't ask any follow-up questions. What are you two doing together? We had lunch together. Strictly business. A business lunch. I try to picture Misha in a suit having a business lunch with anyone. Somehow I just can't see it. I mean, you say that, Isa. Like, with that haircut, I don't... Just like overlaying like the like I don't think it would look out of place if you took the sprite for Akira, decapitated her, and replaced Misha's torso with it. You don't know? It's nothing. It's normal for one part of the student council to not know what the other is doing. Hey, don't nothing something like that. That isn't normal at all. In fact, it's bad. We're only 3 people. Yuko laughs nervously. She must be terrified. Misha says that you want to put posters in the library for the elections, even though they're really far away. I guess it's okay. I didn't know that I could even decide these kinds of things. You can! Isn't that great? Aren't you happy? Misha grabs Yuko's hands and forces her to clap joyously for herself. Yuko doesn't look very happy about learning that she has more responsibility and power than she'd previously thought. Hey-chan, since you're here, you can help me put them up. Pulling out a giant stack of posters from her bag, she cuts them in half like a deck of cards and passes me the slightly smushed off. Shit-chan had a really good idea. We can put some flyers inside books too. Then, even if they try to ignore us, they won't be able to. They could even be spring-loaded. No, I don't think they can, Misha. Misha tries her best to convey the same tone Shizune used. It sounds close to the real thing and also a little menacing. She was probably kidding. Oh, I liked it. No, please, not that. A super ultra aggressive marketing blitz. We're going to start going door to door too. That's a terrible idea. Misha pouts in her best Shizune impression, fingertips tapping together rapidly in annoyance. Hit-chan, you think that every idea is terrible. Yeah, but that idea is too terrible. Too terrible to ignore. I can't have that. Hit-chan, that sounds like a challenge. Mutiny! Mutiny! Mutiny is bad. Don't fight. It was just a joke. Okay. Don't fight. The way Yuko sounds when she's trying to be firm makes me think of a kindergarten teacher. I suppose that makes her very persuasive in her own way. Putting up the posters is surprisingly hard. Simply because the library is already plastered with bulletin boards and flyers lining every couple meters. Some of them in places so unlikely that I'd never noticed them before. Deciding which of them to peel off in favour of our own adds a lot of time to an otherwise simple job. By the time the bell rings to signal the end of lunch, Misha and I still have a sizable amount of posters left. As we leave, I decide to stick one right by the door. It must be one that Misha did. It has a little drawing of Shizune on the bottom. Okay, so we're not called out on the ruined book. Oh, excuse me. A couple days later, Shizune heads off to go eat lunch by herself and doesn't come back. She must really be swamped with student council work, although I know that she probably made most of that work for herself. When I get to the student council room, I find the door unlocked. Before opening it, I hold back for a second to see if I'll hear Misha's laughing through it. Nothing. I'd almost take that as a sign that no one's in, but Shizune wouldn't leave the door unlocked in that case. She's at her desk, sleeping in her chair with her arms folded over her chest. What a stiff pose. If it weren't for her eyes being closed, there'd be no way to tell that she was asleep. In fact, I can't even be sure that she is asleep now. Normally I'd tap a desk to wake anyone else up, but it wouldn't work with her. I immediately start thinking of tricks I could play on her if she's sleeping. It's disappointing that my train of thought goes in those kinds of directions. Hello. Good afternoon. She signs one greeting with each hand. It's really confusing. Hey, what were you doing? Secretly slacking off? Shizune smiles but lowers her head to conceal it, and tries her best to look annoyed instead. Don't just stand there. It makes me nervous if I'm sitting down and you're not. I take a seat in the nearest chair while Shizune pauses to adjust her glasses on the bridge of her nose, like she's fine-tuning an instrument. Why are you so far away? Does that make you nervous too? Pursing her lips, Shizune doesn't look too amused at my taunting her. I had some free time, so I thought I would drop by and see if you were still busy. Do you want to help me? Yeah. Too bad. I'm grateful, but it's not necessary. I just finished the last of it, and now everything that needed to be done is done. So formal. Misha was just as businesslike yesterday. Are you both getting serious for official student council business? I'm always serious, like the student council candidate should be. That was fast. From zero to immediately criticizing people who aren't even her colleagues yet before I've had the chance to stretch my legs. At least the presidents. They need initiative. Then maybe they can motivate everyone else, or at least strong-arm them along. But even though there's a bunch of them, they're also wishy-washy. There's no one running for vice president, so they all want the big prize, but none of them have the right drive for it. And then the treasurers are always so flaky. I've decided to use my power to just eliminate the position. Wait a sec, please. Can you even do that? I don't think it works that way. It is how it is. With that, Shizune stares grimly into the distance, rubbing the frame of her glasses. That doesn't answer the question, future dictator. I'm disappointed. They should want me out of here faster, because they want a job, or at least disagree with me having the job. If I can't mobilize a bunch of student council wannabes for either reason, all my work will have been for nothing. If they're going to be so slow about it, I'll just hold on to my office as long as possible. Shizune punctuates the sentence with a snap of her fingers, creating a sound as loud and sharp as a gunshot. I wonder if she knows how loud she can do that. It's definitely an attention grabber, so I can only see it as invaluable to her mute. She might have practiced it because of that. All of it, huh? That's too harsh. I always thought this is the real test. Leaving a lasting impression is important. It's why I don't build sandcastles. They crumble when you leave. Maybe, but if I see an especially neat one, I still think it's impressive. I'll say it's impressive. I kind of admire you. So, to me, it wasn't for nothing. She tugs at her glasses as if she wants to take them off, smiling wryly. Sorry. I was careless and something selfish slipped out. I've always wanted to stand at the top. It didn't matter what it was, as long as I was the best at it, and understood it completely, and made it my own. Like when you hear a song and dream of being a musician, or see a plane and wish you could be a pilot. Have you ever had a dream like that? It's interesting, I just wonder if, like, the song and musician analogy is something that would actually... Like, would that be, like, one of the first things someone who's deaf would think of? Given that she, like, wouldn't have... Like, presumably, like, she's heard, like, that kind of thing from other people, but I just kind of... my brain immediately wondered, like, would that be something, like, someone would actually, like, to be the first thing that came to their mind if they've never actually heard a song? I mean, there's Beethoven. But, I mean... Fair, but as far as I know as well, Beethoven started music before he was deaf, if I recall correctly. He did continue after he became deaf, but it's not like he still, like, knew what music sounded like. But I think they brought up that, like, Shizune's always been deaf. Yeah. The first time I played soccer, I wondered if maybe I could ever get good enough to wow people. That was just a fantasy, though. As soon as I saw the gap between me and people with real talent, I put those dreams behind me. Well, with my heart the way it is, I can't play soccer anymore anyway.
You could, Hisao, if you do your exercise.
To be fair to Hisao, he hasn't given me too much reason to call him out on that this route. Do you still have dreams like that? No, they're unrealistic. I realized it very quickly. There's always someone better. A nostalgic expression crosses her face. She looks oddly mature right now, as if the days of competing vigorously against others for supremacy are long behind her. Of course, I know that nothing could be further from the truth. Just last week she wanted to see which one of us could blow the biggest bulb with a piece of gum. It could be that she was even worse when she was younger. A terrifying thought. I like that there was always someone better. When someone greater than me would appear, I'd get so excited I'd want to challenge them. Even though in the end they would usually turn out to be better and I would be left in awe. There are some people who are on a different level completely. After a while I got jealous. I wanted something like that for myself. Is that what the student council is? The thing just for you? No. Even though it feels like that sometimes, that wasn't why I decided to do it. That is another story entirely. But I like being the student council president. Even if the work is hard and I'm always biting off more than I can chew, that is what keeps it exciting. People at the top shouldn't be able to be comfortable all the time anyway. You sound like a farmer. Although they wouldn't suit her, Shizune would look cute in overalls and a straw hat. So if that wasn't the reason, why did you run for the job? I didn't, but afterwards I decided to stick with it anyway. I wanted to be the student council president because the old student council president was stupid. Just out of spite, just like this, the last guy was so bad at it that I just knew I could do a better job. And I want to stir people up, so that they will be able to say, that was interesting, today was interesting, that kind of thing. Memorable experiences. I'm happy because I think we succeeded. You and Misha and me. I have a selfish desire too, though. At first it was something I thought would only be a nice bonus, but I've gotten greedy. That is why it would make me happy if the elections go smoothly. It would be the only way that I could see that my wish was granted. What is it then? It's a secret. Sensing that I might not be ready to let such a weak dodge slide by so easily, Shizune quickly waves down any attempt at a follow-up, embarrassment coloring her face. It's something she wants to keep to herself only because it's too silly to do otherwise. I start to feel a pang of hunger and check my watch. It's earlier than it looks. Too early for dinner. More yawning. Do you have any kind of food in your desk? For a second, it looks like the question confuses her, but she recovers quickly. Desks are for supplies. Food is supplies. You should have eaten lunch. I didn't think it would be a problem if I didn't. If I was working, I wouldn't have to think about it. I'd be too busy to be hungry. She puts her hand up to her mouth in a poor attempt to conceal a laugh, and tries to hide it further by pretending to use it to push her glasses further up the bridge of her nose. I guess you're not, since you already ate. I'm not good enough to sign the appropriate words, so I settle for pointing at the stack of Chinese food containers leaning precariously off the top of her trash can. Those are from yesterday. Then we're both hungry. Let's get something to eat. Not from the cafeteria. There wasn't anything good at lunch, so I really doubt there will be anything good left over. Order something? You can order until you get the hunger headache. It's not the hunger headache, you get the shake. Well, that's right, I get the shakes. Ordering out 2 days in a row is unnatural. Only in case of emergencies. That is my personal policy.
I don't know if unnatural is the right word. To be fair, like, ordering out once is, like, unnatural.
You get headaches when you're hungry for too long? See, what? I get... It starts with shakes for me, and then kind of goes to, like, weakness. Like, it's not like it's not like my head feels faint, like I feel faint mentally, but like my muscles feel weak. And that's kind of the sign for me that I have to eat something soon. This is why she should think of putting some snacks on her desk. It would be an easier way of dealing with these kinds of emergencies. I want to tell her, but signing out how hungry I am like 5 times has made me too tired to be a smartass. The temptation is really great, though. Hi. Misha's distinct up and down voice sounds muffled through the door. She bursts in a second later. Hit-chan, you're here too. She didn't have that smile that wasn't there at first. Two? How did you know there was already someone in here? If it opens, someone is inside. Yeah, I suppose, fair enough, like, same way you could tell Hisao. Am I interrupting? Shizune shakes her head. Great, that's really great. But I was sure I would be. Is this a break? Also, kind of wondering, like, have Shizune and Hisao, like, told Misha at all that they're dating? And, to be fair, it doesn't feel like they are. In the other routes, like, there was kind of that feeling, like, they talked a bit about their relationship. Shizune and Hisao, like, since the Tanabata, haven't really, like, spoken about it. Pretty sure Misha's aware enough to... Yeah, I'm just wondering if it's an assumption on Misha's part, or if she's actually, like, being told. Yeah, it's something that is kind of bothering me a little bit about this route so far, is that Hisao and Shizune haven't spoken about them yet, like, their relationship yet. I thought so too, but it turns out everything student council related is over, for now. Is that why you're here? Yeah, that's right, Hit-chan. I'm sorry to disappoint you. We were just discussing whether or not to order out for dinner. That sounds fun. Shizune isn't being very fun about it, though. She says that she can't order food 2 days in a row. Are you hungry too? Because if you are, we can outvote her. That sounds fun, Hit-chan. And I am a little hungry. I thought you would say it sounds like mutiny. Shizune pinches the frame of her glasses, clearly thinking that it does seem like mutiny. But being outvoted by a clean 2-to-1 margin, there's nothing she can do. Misha already has her phone out. It's awfully garish. Chit-chan, you promised we would have a student council thing just for us, right? Right. This can be it. Shizune only shakes her head. The last party she'll be able to attend as Yamagu's student council president is too special to her to put that label on our spur-of-the-moment early dinner. Even though I'm sure the real thing will be just like this. A meal like any other, with the 3 of us. Why is the music cutting out? Okay, because we're moving to scene. After we finish eating and clean up, I say goodbye to them and head to my dorm. Although I don't feel particularly tired, I think I'll just go straight to sleep tonight. If I were back home, my mum would nag me not to go to bed right after eating, but what she doesn't know won't hurt her. I take a look at the clock as soon as I get in and realize that it's a lot later than I'd thought. It also feels a bit silly checking the clock when I have a phone and a wristwatch. I take off my watch and hold it in one hand while holding my phone in the other. It makes me feel powerful. And stupid. I try unsuccessfully to go to sleep, and I'm glad when someone interrupts me by knocking on my door after only a few minutes. I figure that it couldn't be anyone but Kenji, which is why I'm surprised when it ends up being Misha. Hi, Hichan. You don't look happy to see me. No, I'm just kind of surprised. Did Shizune remember something that she wants me to do after all? It's late, but whatever. I guess it's good that I didn't change. Nope, I just thought I'd follow you back, Hichan. For fun? No, of course not. It's because she wants to talk. It must be about something important, and something she doesn't want Shizune to know about. Do you want to come in? Yeah, thanks, Hichan. She walks in and immediately takes a seat in the chair. The natural thing to do, but I'd expected her to sit on the bed. Hichan. Misha frowns harshly, arms folded over her chest. It's like she's trying to play a grim interrogator. All that's missing is the mustache and a dangling, flickering light bulb on a string. Did you make Shichan sad? What do you mean? When I went to the office today, Shichan couldn't hear me coming. That's why. Oh, that's why when I opened the door, I saw a really confusing expression on her face. Shichan looked happy and sad, and I wanted to know why. Well, it wasn't because of me. I didn't even see it. Is that the case, Hisao? Just because you're not aware of something doesn't mean it's not the case. I think she's depressed that she won't be student council president anymore in a few months. When I asked Shichan about it, she said that was okay. That's meaningless. Shizune would say that, but it's ridiculous to think she would let it go that easily. I mean, there are times when she'll want to fight me over the last apple or chocolate milk or whatever. And that is stuff that doesn't even matter. Chocolate milk is important. Okay, it is. Don't get mad, but not as much as student council is to her. She wouldn't just wave it off so easily. Haha, you're right. I thought that this was supposed to be an interrogation, but it appears Misha has already forgotten about it. But I don't want Shichan to lie to me to make me feel better. Most people don't know how serious Shichan is and think she's just putting on a show. I'm happy that you understand her, Hichan. It's obvious, especially with how she talked about it today. Misha leans in closer with interest, resting her hand on her palms. Oh, her head on her palms. Really? What did she say? They're close enough that I don't think much of how she is prying. Why she joined the student council. Sort of. She started, but then decided that some stuff should just say classified and signed, it's a secret. So I guess that's what she told me. It's a secret. Well, if someone tells you that they have a secret, you can sort of call that a secret by itself, Hichan. Just like how, according to you, luck is a skill. So the music playing at the moment gets me feeling that something... this conversation is going to take a turn at some point. It can be. Be careful, not so loud. Why, Hichan? You're going to wake up half the people in the building, and on top of that, dorms aren't co-ed. Hichan, are you thinking something dirty? Stop being weird. If you are, it's okay, I think. Hearing that makes me realize how easy it's been for me to talk to Misha all this time. That I would be able to go this long without feeling the need to be on guard. This is the first time I have. I feel sad, Hichan. It's funny. The happier Shichan gets, the more depressed I feel. Even though I should be happy for Shichan, I still am. But I can't talk about my problems with her. Why not? Just like Shit-chan can't talk about her problems to me. It's the same thing, Hit-chan. If we have that kind of problem, then I'm not sure anymore what I should do. I wonder if I'm a bad friend. Misha gets up and quickly drops herself onto bed until we're sitting only a few inches apart. Just a couple seconds later, she pushes her head forward and gives me a light kiss. It misses my lips, more due to bad aim on her part than because of me. What are you doing? Although it's just a formality, I'd be stupid to not know what she is getting at. It's just that it seems so unlikely that I'm hoping there'll be some way I won't have to deal with it. Now she decides to be shy and giggles, embarrassed. Do you like me, Hit-chan? Okay, I was okay. I was wondering, like, because it's been said that there's only one choice to make. Well, I think you said there was only one choice to make in this route, and for a moment I thought like that was going to be the choice was the answer to that question. Yeah, her head is buried in my chest. It feels like she's talking into my scar. She might be able to feel it brushing against her cheek. I tried too hard to hide it from both of them before. It seems like such a dumb thing to have worried about so much in retrospect. Oh, that's okay. Please comfort me, Hit-chan. Just for today. Okay, that's not the choice. Hmm. Oh, this all depends on like what this response means by comforting her. Because I could fall into the same trap I fell into in Persona before, where that I think that was how I ended up on like Anne's route in Persona 5 was because I like the options were either just ignore her while she's like having a rough time or give her a hug. But no, you weren't allowed to just give her a hug as a friend. Oh. Uh, see, my immediate response is like to refuse. Because this is Shizune's route. And yeah, I think I did save. Yeah, tongue tied. And like even if we haven't seen much and they haven't talked much about it, and like it doesn't feel like their relationships all like too. It doesn't feel like the relationship's all too serious now. Like Hisao has told Shizune, like he has asked her out, and she said yes. Like they're like that's my immediate response is to refuse. Oh, but also it'd feel like see the one thing that's come up in my mind that I'm is and I don't no this I suppose it feels like that it doesn't feel like quite like Shizune's way of thinking. I don't think, and I don't know. No, I don't. I don't know if Misha could act like this if she wasn't serious about it. Because my brain like did wonder like briefly like was is this like a test? Like, is Misha just testing like how committed Hisao is to Shizune? Uh, don't know, I feel like it just feels like if she is like really struggling though to just say no, not your. What does it mean to comfort? Just pick something. I don't like making choices. I definitely have saved, right? I'm gonna go with my gut instinct and say no. No, because I hope. The thing is, if I comfort Misha and it goes too far, then Shizune could see that Shizune will kind of rightfully see that as cheating. But if I refuse and hurt Misha, Shizune is going to see that, oh, Hisao just hurt my best friend. But yeah, my gut feeling is to say no. We have loyalty. Oh, before I does you lose either way? Yeah, apparently. Before I can answer, she pushes her whole weight against me, and it unbalances me enough to send us both onto the bed. If I don't answer quickly, then the situation will only become more precarious. I know that I should have never let things get as tangled as they already are. So even though it isn't the most tactful way to refuse her, I push her off of me. Misha falls backwards onto the sheets, so softly that it seems like she barely fell at all. Eyes closed, she stays like that for a while, before getting up with a hollow laugh. You're right, Hitchan. I'm sorry. I'm not sure how I feel. Regretful, slightly, even though I've grown to hate regret. Sad, for a multitude of reasons. I'm also a little angry, both at her and at myself. And, in a way, it even seems like I'm not really feeling at all. Don't be. No, Hitchan, it's okay. I am, really, really. But just asking was enough for me, I think. I'm happier that you said no. Is that right? Well, that's good. Yeah, it is. Thanks, Hitchan. She pulls herself up and leans against the wall. I'm assuming she is. My head hurts so much that I don't bother opening my eyes. I lie on my bed, listening to the rustle of my hair brushing against the sheets and the grass waving in the wind outside. I guess that I should say more to reassure her, but I wonder if that would really help. Maybe it would be better to say nothing. I just don't know. Although, I think that in this situation, there's no one right thing I can do. Oh, sorry, just had to sneeze. Good night, Hitchan. With that, she leaves, the door clicking shut behind her like a guilty whisper. Maybe it's because I'm eager to put the day behind me, but after Misha is gone, I find it much easier to fall asleep. I do so almost instantly. Okay. So yeah, I'm just remembering that point in like the opening, but not the opening, like the little animation at the beginning of Shizune's route. And yeah, I had thought like of the two, like there two possibilities, like for why Misha's like looking upset there. One is just that she feels like she's becoming less necessary to Shizune. Like that friendship, that kind of unique friendship she had is kind of being lost. But then also the possibility that she ends up liking Hisao as well, and now I'm wondering if it's both to an extent. No. I'm wondering if that's maybe like if it then was a deliberate choice to not have Shizune and Hisao like talk much about their relationship. Like, was that deliberately so that reading it you don't get too invested in it? Like, you don't have too much behind it? So that when Misha shows up with that, like... Oh, like, cause it was kind of, we've... The friendship seems to be the same... Like, ignoring, like, what happened physically between Hisao and Shizune on the holiday. In terms of the conversations had, like, he does seem to, like, get along just as well with Misha as Shizune. The following morning, I wake up thinking that most of my time is going to be spent trying to avoid Shizune and Misha. What happened last evening still makes me feel uneasy. I thought that sleeping on it would help alleviate that feeling. I feel like an idiot for believing it would be that easy. I think about whether or not Misha might feel the same way. If so, she probably won't show up to school today. I'd considered doing the same, but it would be pretty suspicious, and staying inside all day in fear doesn't appeal to me. It never really has. Like I thought, Misha isn't in class this morning. Shizune is, but today is a busier day than most, so she gives her all concentrating on her classwork. And that means there's little idle time for her to start up a conversation with me. Wouldn't actually, like, if Misha wasn't present, wouldn't that actually be a reason, like, more of a reason for Shizune to talk? Because, like, wouldn't, or, like, does, like, normally doesn't she need Misha to, like, translate the classes for her? Oh, and hello, Stero. You're the first on YouTube. Yes, you're not. I regret to inform you, you're not the first comment. I was going to say things would have gone horribly wrong if you comforted him. Okay. Yeah, I figured that. Like, the comforting Misha did feel like I felt there were connotations behind what comfort meant, and I felt that. Yeah, I did feel like more suspicious of that. Came running home just because you felt it. Nope, gotta get that cardio in. I'd grown so used to seeing Shizune and Misha together that I hadn't realized until yesterday how much that hasn't been the case lately. And it's a shame because the empty seat next to her reminds me that they are a pair. So yesterday is something I'll take to my grave. No, Hisao, that's a little raw. It's bad from you because you're hypertension. Get the cardio in. Stretch those legs. Just felt like running. But yeah, Hisao, I don't like. Yes, they're friends, but I feel like, especially if you claim to like Shizune, you shouldn't think of them as a pair. Like, they're individual people. If I feel this way about it, I wonder how Misha must feel. Just as regretful? When she came on to me, she was more depressed and sexy to start with. I can only imagine how much worse it would be now. Thinking about it like that, I want to see her again, but only half-heartedly. The other half of me is still terrified, even though I hate to use that word. It makes me feel ashamed, but I'm sure it's the only way to describe myself right now. I spent the next couple periods in the library, not in the mood to sit in classes for the rest of the day, but unwilling to walk back to the dorms. Oh. While I'm lazily flipping through the pages of an uninteresting historical fiction novel, Shizune drops herself into the chair across from me, pouting. Yeah, you think Shizune's not gonna notice something's up? I think it's sort of pointless to come to school and then skip every class. Sorry. At least tell everyone that you're sick. I'm just not feeling it today. Yesterday I was fine though, and tomorrow I'll probably be fine. Taking a sick day in the middle of the week is just too suspicious. That 24-hour flu thing or whatever won't fly. It's not suspicious. It is. I turn back to my book, but Shizune gently pulls it down, in contrast with her expression, which straddles the line between concern and anger. Is something wrong? No, I do feel that's like it. That is like something that is kind of a sign of caring, though. Like truly caring about someone is when they care enough, like, to get angry at you. No, like when their concern like kind of goes beyond just kind of a gentle, oh, I feel bad for you, and more kind of is a bit more aggressive and kind of like, why? Oh, my brain is not putting it into words well for me. What? Is something bothering you? Because you're acting a little suspicious today, in a different way. If there is, just tell me, or I'll be mad. I'm not good at reading people. What a ridiculous thing to say after picking up my mood so easily. Well, there's a difference between getting a general vibe from someone, like how they're feeling, and like knowing like specifically what kind of thing is the cause of that upset. She's only half kidding, but there is some truth in it. After all, she can't hear tone and has to rely on reading to communicate with others. It's as if you could only ever have conversations with someone through text messages. That has to mess with you in some way. That is true. Like, there's so many times I send messages and chats and kind of hope, like, I didn't come across, like, in the wrong tone there, did I? It's probably why she stares so intently at people, in order to gauge their reaction. Or maybe it's why she pushes people so hard, to get them to react. I've thought about it before, but it's too hard to say for sure what Shizune's exact motivations are for anything. So, I wonder how much of that was a joke. Sometimes it's easy to tell. This time, it isn't. Assuming it wasn't a joke, I can't tell her anyway. Because it's sign language, there's enough time to collect myself and lie effectively. Like, as awkward as it is, he sounds like this. I feel that, I mean, I suppose like the only reason, I don't think it's a reason to lie, but like the reason to keep it to yourself is maybe just that you don't know, like, if Misha like wants to keep this, what happened, quiet. But in that case, like, you can say, like, I can't say it's not just about me, someone else. No, because yeah, if you're going to lie, don't do it like, or I suppose do it like that, because then she's going to know something's, because she knows something's up. Nothing is gonna fly. Nothing. Yeah. It was definitely intent on Misha's part. Yeah. Oh no. I'm saying that, but I think kind of, I mean more like kind of, if Hisao is going, like, if he doesn't want to tell Shizune what happened, he doesn't need to mention it was Misha. He just needs to say that there's someone else involved, and I can't tell you without them letting me know it's okay. Like, just, I don't know, no, I'm not, no, in most cases, like, I'm not really okay with lying, like, particularly to your, like, partner. No, and I get that this is, like, something that would be particularly awkward to talk about your partner with, but, I've just been thinking a lot about the student council's future lately. I believe Misha is doing the same. Well, in her own way. So am I, but she isn't here today. I wish you would have let me know something, because I might need her help later today. Yours too, unless you're busy. I'm not? Thank you. I feel like I'm losing a lot of people close to me lately. I can't think of a good way to respond to that. Something reassuring and confident, telling her not to worry. I'm here for you. I'm not one of those people. Then who is? And it seems so forced. I manage a wave of my hand that seems extremely callous as soon as I do. Yeah. You shouldn't feel that way. You don't just... Even if you believe someone... Like, someone shouldn't feel that some way. And even if it's true, you don't... You don't just say it like that and kind of go, nah, you're... I might be just a little sick. Not enough to go through the trouble of making it official, it's just easier for me this way. It's the wrong way. I've heard the hard way and the right way are usually the same thing, so it's not a big stretch to say that the opposite is true. Well, fine. If you say you're alright, that's good enough for me. Wait. You asked me, so I'm turning it around. Is everything okay with you? And here's the rub, Hisao. If you're not going to be honest with her, you can't expect her to be honest with you. Trust is a two-way street. Yes. She signs it without a moment's hesitation. Oh, hold up. I kind of... Did Hisao ask, is there anything wrong with you, or is... Oh, is everything okay? Okay. I was trying to think if that was a, like... I couldn't remember if the question was worded, like... Is everything okay, or is something wrong? She signs it without a moment's hesitation. After that, Shizune waits to see if I'm going to follow up on it. I don't, and she leaves. I feel like an idiot for not going further, even though I think it's better that I didn't. Is it... Hisao, you weren't bothering me too much in this route, but you're starting to bug me again. I've been in the library for quite a while and decided to go up to the roof for a change of pace. A fresh breeze hits me the second I open the door. This is really my favorite area of the school, I think. Then I see I'm not the only one here. I can see a girl with bubblegum pink hair in front of me. Her back is to me, but I don't have to see her face to know who it is. I'm sure Misha is the only person in the world with hair like that. I get the feeling that I've stumbled onto her at a bad moment. She obviously wants to be alone, and I wonder if she hasn't noticed my presence. If so, I'll leave right now, but she has, and turns to face me. Oh, Hichan. I thought someone was behind me, but I didn't think it was going to be you. This time, you surprised me. If she's referring to her habit of sneaking up behind me and asking me to guess who it is, I've never been surprised by that. I thought she might have been more referring to, like, surprising you at, like, your room last night. I'm surprised too, but this is good. I had something I wanted to talk to you about anyway. Not that. What's going on between you and Shizune? She won't tell me, so... You just admitted that you weren't really, like, pressing the issue, Hisao. Oh? Because you're easier to get an answer out of, since the same sign language that gives me the leeway to lie to her gives her a cushion against my questions, so that she can more easily brush them off. When she hesitates, I push her harder. That's a... I don't like... I mean, at least you're aware of it, Hisao, but still... No, now if... Hisao, you're annoying me again. Give me an honest answer, please. It's complicated, Hichan. It's because of something that happened a long time ago. I thought I could forget about it, but it's really hard. So, that and graduation coming up made me want to spend more time with Shichan. But Shichan is always busy now, so we've been fighting. I'm tired of it now. Because I like Shichan. So do I. No, I know you like her, Hichan. I mean that I like Shichan in the same way. I want her to be my girlfriend. Oh, that's what I was missing. Misha closes her eyes, like a condemned criminal confessing the last of their sins in front of the executioner. Got in for the see what? Hi, Candy, yep. Misha closes her eyes, like a condemned criminal confessing the last of their sins in front of the executioner. It only makes it harder for me to think of a response, and I know I have to give one. I see. I never knew. I didn't really want to come to this school, Hichan, but it sounded interesting, and even if everyone hated me, at least it felt like they would leave me alone. I was learning sign language, but wasn't very good at it. Shichan was trying to get people to join the student council because it was only her and Lily. Then she came up to me. I couldn't understand her at all. But Shichan wouldn't use her pen and paper. She knew that I was taking sign language classes. I was exposed quickly. I didn't know any. That only made her try harder, and I hated Shichan and thought she was making fun of me. That wasn't the reason, though. So, I slowly fell in love with Shichan, and I told her that I loved her. This is why there's no Misha? Oh, okay. Okay, so... Oh. I'm then just wondering, like, what last night was about? Unless it's a case like, the reason Kanbaru in the Monogatari series is interested in Koyomi, not because she's really interested in himself at first, but just because wonder how you'll react to the bad ending option. Is that what I'm on? Am I on the bad ending? Oh no, you meant in general? Okay. No. Oh yeah, I'm still, games like this I don't like. I'm scared of the bad endings. I get too attached to characters. It was in the student council room, you know, when it was just the two of us. I had these fantasies of Shichan staying alone in the office, trying to put everything together all by herself. It seemed so lonely to me and so sad. I think I wanted it to be that way. That way I could be there for Shichan, and maybe Shichan would like me. Even though there was no reason for me to believe it, I did it anyway. I wanted it to be true, so I was okay with letting myself believe it. Even though I think I knew. That day was really, really beautiful too, Hichan. We were done with everything, and I was looking out through the window. Even through the window, the light was so warm. I wanted to stay like that forever, next to Shichan. But then I looked at Shichan. She had her back to the window and was still working on something, blocking out the rest of the world. The light was on her shoulders, like when I would put a blanket on my shoulders as a little kid. Misha stops for a second, as if trying to hold on to the image of Shizune in her mind. Shichan looked... It was like Shichan looked in a way that made me want to be with her. But it felt like it would be hard for that to happen. That was a really long time ago. My hair was different back then too. A little messy. I cut it because Shichan was always talking about it. Anyway, I told her right then and there. I confessed. Oh, I wonder now as well if Misha, like, cutting her hair, like, she did seem like pretty... It seemed kind of subtle at the time, but I wonder now, like, when Misha cut her hair a second time, even shorter, that Shizune saying she didn't like it. Well, it hit a little harder. I was rejected. So, I thought that was it, Hichan. But Shichan was always trying to find me, and I hated Shichan again for it. So that now Misha doesn't want to have intimacy with... Okay, yeah, I was wondering if... I feel I've seen a story like that before in an anime somewhere. Where, like, someone's interested in... like, one of the characters, not because they're interested in the character themselves, but because they're interested in the character's partner. Oh, but I can't remember where that... I can't remember which show it was. I just feel I've seen that kind of situation before. And when I asked her why she was doing it, it was because I was her friend. Her cheeks have a hint of red in them. I wonder how much experience she has had with crying that she can keep herself from doing it so well. If she didn't pause to wipe her eyes, I might never have noticed. Having Shichan say that made me happy, but also sad. And even though she never meant to hurt me, it still hurts. Even now. Shichan has a way of manipulating people, Hichan. Sometimes she wants to, and sometimes she doesn't really, but it happens anyway. Sometimes I'm just not sure exactly which one it is, and I feel doubt. I just wish that Shichan liked me instead of you. It made me wonder if I was starting to hate you and Shichan. Just a little. I didn't like that. So, you were thinking maybe it would be better if I weren't here at all? She looks confused. The thought has never crossed her mind. That's not it, Hichan. Calls me she was craving some form of connection when she felt she's been replaced by Hichan. Yeah. She obviously can't ask that if she's gonna... Yeah, I suppose it does come like what I thought at first, like when I saw the animation, that like even if it wasn't romantic, she did have a unique bond with Shizune, and now that's threatened. Kind of that realization that what they have isn't unique. Thought about it a lot these last few days, and I don't want to hate anyone. You or Shichan. It's so stupid that I ever felt like that, isn't it, Hichan? I don't want to think about that kind of stuff ever again. And missing people and being apart from them. I'm tired of it and don't want to think about it anymore. I already did, though, so... I'm still really the worst kind of person. I wasn't thinking that it would be better if Hichan had never come to this school. I was thinking... wouldn't it be better if I just died? Oh, that's... Oh, I'm kind of feeling... Oh, a little like called out on some assumptions at the moment on just regarding depression. And kind of like I've known for like the longest time in my head that people with depression tend to be the happiest people you'll meet. But and my brain had just never. Oh, my brain had just never like thought that Misha being like so overly happy to say, "Alright, yeah." I just feel why didn't. It's easy to think something, but then when you're actually in it, you just don't see. Oh. The acting as happy as they are just to cover up, like to compensate for how they're feeling inside. Misha presses herself harder against the fence at her back, as if hoping to slip right through it. Without really thinking about it, I grab her hand. My reflexes are terrible, and I manage to only grasp onto a few of her fingers, but it's unimportant. Sorry, it's just you said something pretty weird just now. Yeah, I guess that's right, Hichan. Yeah. Do you want to know what I think? Shizune is the type of person who won't let anyone close to her except on her terms. It's frustrating. Sometimes it's even infuriating. That probably would have bothered me when I was in the hospital and anyone who shut me out was dead to me. I'd forgotten all about it until recently. I got a letter and it was all about that. I was mad. I thought, how can you accuse me of closing myself off from everyone and giving up? Isn't that what everyone else did to me? What else am I supposed to do? What can I do? Yeah, even now. I know that's how it happened, but she was right too. I did close myself off. So I made up my mind that I'm not going to let that be the case ever again. The hospital? Hichan, is that what those pills are for? Just listen, please. Shizune is the opposite of how I was. She has always wanted to draw people closer to her. That's the only reason Shizune was interested in me in the first place, I think. And I think I was determined to not let that happen in a way. Misha casts her eyes downwards, understanding perfectly. I never realized how hard that can be. And now, I feel like I'm going to return the favor, even if it takes twice as long. I already learned a second language just to get this far. It wasn't as hard as I thought, but it was definitely hard. Sometimes I felt like I was clawing my way up a mountain with how my hands hurt. And you did the same thing. And it was for the same reason, wasn't it? That's really amazing. Which is why it makes me sad and a little angry that you would say a stupid thing like that. You played hard to get me to chase more. Yeah. No. No, I suppose... Yeah. It does make me curious then, like, why... You know, it feels a little bit like she gives up in the other routes, but I guess kind of for the sake of the story. No, I suppose as well, he made it... yeah, I suppose in this route he didn't, like, do anything. He wasn't, like, hanging around with other people, so Shizune's kind of like, hey, he doesn't have anywhere else to go. He's just ignoring me for the sake of ignoring me. That's just what I believe, anyway. Her shoulders slump, and Misha almost slides to the floor, like she is drained of all energy. You're too dramatic, Hichan, she says, while looking away, turning her head almost as if she wants to look out at the school grounds, but not turning it enough to do so. The door behind us opens, the sound only barely able to be heard over the ambient breeze. Oh. Okay. This is... Either it's going to be a case of Hisao and Misha immediately... no, I don't think Shizune will buy it if we just try to shut it down. I've been looking everywhere for you two. Is this some secret meeting? She walks over to us, leaning against the fence next to Misha, as if she needs to stop and catch her breath, before pushing herself off it and continuing. Oh, has she been running around trying to find us? I'm bored sitting in the student council room every day now, without either of you ever coming by. Taking some time off is fine, but this is just too much. Normally, Misha and I would be jokingly making excuses for ourselves at this point. This time, there's only silence. Shizune, always expecting resistance, is thrown off balance by the lack of it. A few seconds pass in uneasy silence, which Shizune breaks with an ear-shattering snap of her fingers, smiling as if to say, Eureka! Let's go do something together. Like what? Anything. We should go to the student council room first, and then figure it out from there. That seems like a trick to get us to do work instead. Very funny. Misha laughs, managing to let out a restrained wah. That Shizune can't see it makes me feel better. It means that it wasn't only for her benefit. I was thinking that you both actually could help me with something. What else is there? We can't go out to eat. We already ordered in yesterday. That was already breaking policy. 3 days in a row would be unforgivable. But that was ordering in, Shichan. Going out to eat is different. Yeah, totally different. You're both kidding yourselves. Before I can reply, Shizune grabs my hand, limiting my ability to do so. My options cut down so drastically, I have no choice but to settle for making a face at her instead. She makes one back, before extending her hand to Misha as well. When Misha is reluctant to take it, I walk forward as far as holding on to Shizune, at the same time will allow me, and take her hand myself. She only has a second to smile before Shizune starts pulling us impatiently towards the door, binding us together like a human chain. Although it's dangerous, none of us seem to think of letting go any step of the way through the school, out of the doors and across the grounds. This feels familiar, as if we've walked like this before. The three of us, hand in hand. Of course, the mood was a lot happier then. I could see the lingering sadness on their faces, but it makes me wonder if anything has really changed. If this is all just a distraction or not. But I think it's just me slipping back into being cynical because of the moment. It's a start. Oh. To my other self. Okay. That was not what I would have... That was not at all in what I would have predicted as the picture being. My other self. Okay, now I'm a little curious about how this final act is going to go. Also, I will be back in a moment. I just need to run to the bathroom. this cold. There's still snow sitting on top of my skylight. Okay. So, final act. Well, I was almost kind of like with that like final picture and the way things were going, like almost felt to me like the arc would, like this route was going to end there. No. It took my brain a moment to remember again. Oh wait, no, this is still Act 3. There's still a whole act left to go. Okay, where were we? Only a day later, the weekend has already arrived. I drop a heavy stack of books on the librarian's desk, not meaning to slam them, but they weigh so much that it happens anyway. Yuko bolts out of her chair with enough force to dislodge her glasses. She barely holds on to them. Oh, hi. Sorry, I'm here to return all those books I was supposed to. That's great, but I wish you had brought them back sooner. It wouldn't be a problem if the library had more copies of everything, but it doesn't, and they act like that's my fault. They? Yeah, I was gonna say the other students. Other students, they can be, pretty pushy. Sorry, it just kind of slipped my mind. It's been a pretty rough couple of days. Oh, I suppose you don't want to talk about it. Oh, is this our getting sage guidance from Yuko? Yuko meekly turns to the task of logging all the books I've brought back as returned, treating them with extreme care and precision, like she's a bomb disposal technician rather than a librarian. Over the past couple of days, I've been thinking about something Misha said. Of course, I'd thought about everything she said, but one thing in particular keeps coming back. She talked about how she didn't want to miss people or think about being apart from them anymore. Shizune said something similar as well, didn't she? That she feels people are getting further away from her. When I recalled those words, they stomped me cold, like a sharp slap across the cheek. In just a few months, we'll be graduating. Misha and Shizune were nearly inseparable, but after graduation, they might never see each other again. I wonder if that thought is what started all of this. If Misha were to try and talk to Shizune about it, Shizune likely wouldn't think about it at all. It would sadden her, and for that reason she would try and toss it away. For someone like Shizune, who is so quick to suppress her worries, it would be easy. Misha turned out to be more sensitive than she seemed. It would have crushed her, even more so because Shizune's reaction could come off as pretty cold. I don't know if that's how Shizune handled it, but it seems likely, and I can understand why she would act that way. I can also understand why Misha would be troubled by the thought of drifting away from someone who is such an important part of her. I'd never thought about graduation until that moment. And then I began to think things like, has it really only been less than a year? I started thinking of everyone I've met. Not only Shizune and Misha, but everyone else. They were fond thoughts. And then, I thought of losing them. Suddenly, I could understand Misha's anxieties. So that's a feeling I never really got too much in school, because I wasn't really attached to enough people at school. I didn't have enough Excuse me? I didn't have enough fond memories to really care too much. No, and the people I did care enough about were people I kind of didn't have any doubts that we'll keep chatting after school. It could be nice to talk to someone about it. Actually, I kind of want to. With whom? I can sense an obvious tinge of apprehension in her voice. She's like, please don't turn to me for advice. With you. Really? Are you sure? Why me? Because you're an adult? That's it? That's... Wincing, she fidgets a little in her seat, trying to get comfortable in a pretty uncomfortable looking way. I guess this means she's okay with it? Is it hard being an adult? Yes. I don't think I'm that old, though. It's surprising that students now, like Shizune and you, wear stuff like perfumes or cologne. I never did. I still don't use them. By the way, you're not wearing your grape cologne today. Wrong adult loop. Yeah, it wasn't working out for me. Oh, that's good. I thought the same thing. Sorry. Yuko looks genuinely sorry, and I feel a pang of guilt. I smile despite myself. A tiny lie like that can come back to bite me in the butt. For Misha, trying to conceal how she felt in order to put on a happy face for Shizune for so long must have been crushing. Somehow someone. I don't know why I read that as somehow. Someone I know brought up that we're going to be graduating, and I realized that I've never thought about it before. I feel stupid that I could go on so long and never think about these things. I've met a lot of great people, and I've never thought about what it's going to be like to graduate and maybe never see them again. There are still ways you can keep in touch. Yeah, I guess. I feel childish. I know everyone is going through the same thing, probably. I bet you hear this kind of problem a lot. No, I haven't been working here that long. I worried about the same thing when I graduated from high school. I didn't go to school here, though. I also miss my friends, and I wish I had kept in touch with them better. I should have tried harder. Yuko isn't really helping me feel better, and she clams up quickly when she sees it on my face. I don't want to look back and have those same regrets. I wonder if Shizune even thinks about that kind of stuff, because she goes on sometimes about how she doesn't want to live with any regrets. Wow, that sounds impossible to me. I nod, only halfway wanting to agree. Even so, I think that is kind of admirable too. Kind of brave. Don't you think so? Brave is a new way to put it. Yuko shakes her head insistently. It's true though, and also kind of intimidating. Jeez, you shouldn't be intimidated by high schoolers. I mean, to be fair, high schooler... Well, what's the thing? I wasn't the one who, like, had this thought originally, but I kind of feel I agree with it. Like, high schoolers alone are fine. Like, they're perfectly... No... They're perfectly fine people. But for some reason, groups of high schoolers... There's something about... Like, several times I've walked down the street, and like, if there's just a high school guy on the street as well, no problem. But for some reason, when they're in groups, there's something... They act different. Like, they're always trying to one-up the others. She turns away to start folding a sticky note over and over. Pretty idle behavior for a university student, but more importantly, I wonder if I said the wrong thing to her. Being around Shizune for so long, I can't stop reading as much as I can into every moment of silence. Person is smart, but people are dumb, stupid animals. Yeah, I suppose it's kind of that. Like, anytime people like gather in groups, like there's a change. Oh, and maybe I just notice it more with high schoolers, because high schoolers are like the people who are like they're old enough to like be out alone, but also kind of like in environments like schools and such, they have like these groups they hang out in that are the same age. Whereas you don't really have that so much at workplaces, because you have a much wider variety of ages and like backgrounds at work. If Yuko were the type of person who didn't get intimidated by high schoolers, it probably wouldn't be so easy to talk to her. It's all too easy to want to shed some negative quality of hers. When I think of everyone I know, it's those qualities that I like the best. I don't think I really regret it. I thought, as long as I could remember the good times, that was enough. I don't know. Sorry. I noticed a couple of students starting to trickle into the library and decided that my time was up. No, that was helpful. I feel like two of my friends are fighting because one of them is taking the fact that we might not see each other again after we graduate really hard, and the other is probably being stoic about it, which only makes it worse. Yeah, high school is the age where groups and communities start. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think it's ever. To be fair, I've never seen a high school like in reality that's as bad as like media portrays high school to be. Like with all your different cliques. But definitely, yeah, like you fall into your groups. And you're very like clearly associated with kind of like, this is this friend group, this is that friend group. Yeah. I think that's probably like the biggest difference I noticed between like fictional high school groups and real high school groups. Like fictional high school groups seem to be more like interest based. Like you've got the jocks who are into all their sports, the study ones, the musicians. In real high schools, it seems just to be more social focused. Like there'll be, I don't know. This is just like my personal experience, like seeing high schools. Like there seems to be like leaders in your school who kind of, it's that person's friend group, like their circle. But anyway, I'm getting sidetracked into completely unrelated topics. I don't know how I'm supposed to handle this kind of situation. It doesn't seem like the kind of problem where I'll have to end up taking a side, but it could turn out that way, and then I have no idea what I'm going to do. Yeah, they're called cliques still. Okay. I kind of always just heard the word and just assumed it kind of just meant group. I didn't know it would like specifically refer to like social circle. You should tell them that they shouldn't fight. I know, fighting is bad. It's not Shizune and me. Why would you bring this up? If she thought it was Shizune and Misha, this is only going to further convince her. And if she didn't think that, now you've put the idea in her head. It's not Shizune and Misha, by the way. Okay, I wasn't really thinking that, though. How embarrassing. Even though I knew it would be, I still feel my cheeks redden, and even so, I still said something so transparent and blatantly a lie, but it could be that sometimes that is the right way. Do you have any books about people who have to make hard decisions? We have a lot of self-help books. It's funny that I can find that surprising, because I wouldn't have only a few months ago. I meant about, not for. There aren't many, right? Yes, not many, I mean. Do I feel a bit apprehensive about it? I want to talk to Shizune. I don't understand why I feel nervous about it, and that disgusts me a little. Jocks could be a clique, a stereotypical one, but it could any group of similarly aligned people. Yeah. Yeah, I feel that's just kind of like I'd see that less as like it's less a social group and more like a interest group. Like their alignment that they have in common is like physical fitness or sport or something like that. Whereas in high school, I found it more kind of like you might have Jack's group, and you have this guy Jack who's got some kind of charisma about him that he forms a group, and even if like it's not all about him, you kind of like people still know kind of it's his group. But that's what I noticed in high school is groups didn't tend to be like interest groups. It was more about people. It almost motivates me to look for her, right then and there. Although, I don't have to look very hard. She's in the student council room, as always. Worryingly, Misha isn't with her. When Shizune notices me and looks up from her paperwork, the first thing I ask is where she is. Is that the right... I don't know. There's so much uncertainty in her answer that I can't let it go just like that. Hiso, maybe you should be a little more concerned about your... I mean, like, Misha is, like, it's valid that you are concerned about her, but maybe you should be a little more, like, you could show a little more concern for your girlfriend. She's missing a lot of school. Are you the attendance police? That's really strange, coming from the student council president. Shizune hides a laugh behind a cupped hand, and I start to think I might be worrying for nothing. But then her laughter slowly fades away to a more serious and pensive expression. You're right. Yesterday... I catch the hint of a knowing smile on her face when she sees my pearly hidden panic at the word. Despite her best efforts, she can't help being satisfied and eliciting surprise for everyone else, to the very end. Even then, I can see that she has bigger concerns from how quickly her smile vanishes. Before either of you noticed me, I saw what you were saying. I'm not stupid. If I hadn't, I could still see through Misha while we were walking back, even if she hadn't told me everything later. She didn't make a big deal out of it, but any way you look at it, it's my fault, isn't it? Okay, how much is included in everything? And yeah, I had been thinking, like... I did get the feeling Shizune was probably just, like, trying to lighten the mood. She's displayed enough, like, social awareness of people, like, the general vibe around her, that I don't think stumbling on to Misha and Hisao on the roof, like, would have... Like, I feel like she would have known something's going on here. Dude, I hadn't realized that they were, like, both Misha and Hisao were signing during that conversation. I suppose it's been brought up before, like, they do kind of do it subconsciously. Or at least Misha does it subconsciously. What did she tell you? Shizune winces at the question, though it's clear she's been expecting it. She follows it up with a very grand gesture. A lot. Like that I can be selfish and confusing. I try too hard to bring people around me and then push them away. I didn't know what I should do. I thought she was right to mention all those things, so I just agreed with her, but that only made things worse. I don't understand. Adjusting her glasses, she looks pretty tired. I hope it isn't because she's been busy avoiding Misha, but I can't help considering the possibilities, seeing where this conversation is going. Shizune doesn't feel like she's the one avoiding anyone. Like, she's making herself predictable, like, people know where she is. She's going to the place that kind of they meet up. Like, it feels more on Misha and Hisao for avoiding Shizune. It's true. Even the student council being this small and us always being swamped with work, even the student council being this small and us always being swamped with work is my fault. I might have even ended up driving a lot of people off and away from the student council acting like that. Shizune wags a finger mischievously, acknowledging that might is an understatement. However, from how wearily she does it, it's obvious the humour is only to put me at ease, and therefore not genuine. Like Lily, for instance. She was the first person to join when I started trying to recruit people again after everyone else left. Because they couldn't stand me, I guess. We managed to put together the last festival and even ran a booth together at the last minute. But I didn't like her because I thought she was selfish, always holding us up in order to tend to one friend of hers or another, and leaving Misha and me alone to sort out things involving the whole school by ourselves. Oh, yeah, the priority difference. I suppose it can be like a problem. That can be a problem in groups like this. That Shizune's big picture. She's focused on like the overall organization, whereas Lily's more like what's right in front of her. Who's like the individual person who needs a hand. I suppose in a student council situation, I do feel Shizune has kind of the right mindset. Like, I think it's kind of like when you're in a position of authority like that over a group, you need to have the big picture as your priority. If there was any problem she was going through, she would leave us high and dry while she panicked over it and wouldn't come back until it was solved. She would focus on it 100% and be too preoccupied to focus on any student council work. That was the worst to me. That she could be so nice and still take so many people for granted. Why even join the student council then? It seems so short-sighted and selfish, don't you think? But it's actually me who's that. It's actually me who's that way. For the greater good of the community. Yeah, like that's what the student council, I think, is supposed to focus on. Is what is their focus is the whole student body, not just. You can't like look at individuals and kind of go, no, this person is more deserving of my time than others. Like Misha said, I'm always trying to pull people close to me and then shutting them out. That is how I've treated her, which makes me a bad friend. And it feels like I did the same thing to you then, so I guess I'm a bad girlfriend too. Even if Misha says that you might as well replace her. Did my computer stutter or did you repeat that line a few times? I feel there was a line I repeated a few times because my brain was buffering. There was one line I kind of was struggling a little to. My brain didn't word it correctly. Talking about that's exactly how politicians go. Well, which part are we on now? We're like what? I'm wondering like how much latency there is. I'm angry that I screwed things up enough for it to get this out of hand. All I wanted was to... She pauses to look for the right words, tenting her fingers in concentration. No, I mean, to be fair to Shizune, Hisao I don't think has been doing a great job as a boyfriend either. Like, he confessed to her, he asked her out, and then he's kind of blanked on that ever since. Referring to your comment about putting one above the group while being on the count. Yeah, that is how government is supposed to work. Oh, that works a bit. No, that's fine. I just kind of when a comment comes in, it's my brain is like I have a very my brain has very little RAM, Kendi, so I can't keep much in memory. So if someone comments something that like happened like 20 seconds ago, my brain's already forgotten. What did I say 20 seconds ago? So no, that's on my brain, not on you. Felt Shizune's route was a bit on. Yeah. It's I don't know, it's what I felt. It's not like the most uncomfortable like intimate scene that we skipped, but like I didn't. Shizune's like felt like it came out of nowhere, and it really like bugs me that that is kind of like the only thing that's happened like in their their romantic relationship. Everything else feels like they could still just be friends. Make people happy, I think. Even though that seems like a simple way to put it. As she rests her head against her hand, Shizune's bangs fall delicately across her eyes, hidden behind those polished glasses reflecting just the tiniest bit of light. In terms of least romantic to most, you rank as Rin, Shizune, Emi, Hanako. So, so, I mean, I haven't finished Shizune's route. I don't. Rin's, I, to me, it's hard to put Rin in like a sliding scale there. Just because I feel like Rin is, she's different, like in a way that kind of makes it hard to like quite like to quite rank her in with the others. But yeah, I think I do. I think I would probably agree with that ranking. Otherwise, like it'd be Shizune, Emi, Hanago, Lily, and then Rin is kind of an outlier. But of course, again, I haven't finished Shizune's route. I don't know if it does anything in the final act to kind of do a little bit for make up for the lag in the first two acts. It may be wrong to think so, but right now she seems especially beautiful, like a more complete person. Because it's because I did like even little things like this, like knowing that Hisao in his mind is complimenting and thinking well of Shizune. Like even if we didn't see them do anything romantic, like Hisao's thoughts about Shizune feel like they've not been. I don't know. Maybe this just bothers me because I know how much I think about my girlfriend in my own mind. It feels like this is my first chance to respond to her outpouring of emotions. Replacing Misha, Shizune's interpreter? Misha must be joking. It took all my energy to keep up with her just now, her signing filled with gestures that I've never seen before. YouTube censored your run comment. Oh no. Likely their habits picked up from Misha and developed from years of them being together. I could never replace someone so close to her. YouTube says, "Oh, your Rin comment." Okay. So can I wait? Can I? Does it show up on YouTube for me? Nope. Nope. I can't. I don't have an option to like see and uncensor it. Nope. And of course, this is going to happen again. So come on. There we go. I like you because I like you, not because I got tricked into it by you. Despite how hard she tried, anyway. Despite how hard she tried, anyway. I continued to stare back into her eyes, as sharp as ever. The first time I saw them, they had seemed a bit intimidating to me, like the eyes of a predator. That hasn't changed, which I find reassuring. You don't think so? Certain words are forbidden, like sex or shit? Okay. I suppose fair enough. Yeah, I do suppose. Yeah, I do. Yeah, if we're talking about like the sex scenes in it, the first I think it was the first one with Rin like really did make me uncomfortable. I get. I think that one and Hanago's first one, or I think Hanago only had the one. Especially like, afterwards when she admitted like she was just like trying to get Hisao to see her more as a woman. But my biggest problem in Rin's route is Hisao. Like Hisao bothered me so much in Rin's route. He didn't deserve her. Nice, the questionable consent. Yeah. Anna goes was purposely uncomfortable in question. Yeah. No, that was. Yeah. Oh, no, like I'm glad it worked out for them, but still at the time that was not okay with that. I still want to make everyone happy. Starting with Misha. It's bad, but also really good. No, it's a bad. No, I mean, to be fair, it's good in the story it wants to tell. Like it is. Like it's supposed to be that uncomfortable. You're right. It does what the scene does what it's supposed to do. Well, the implication of the scene does what it's supposed to do. I don't know what the actual scene is. So, no, to be fair, I have to give it to the game. I think there's only been one moment, and I can't even remember it, so I don't think it was that important, where I feel like something happened during the scene that wasn't explained, but was quite important. I'm trying to remember. Was it with one of Lily's? I feel it might have been Lily, just because I feel it happened like relatively recently. Like I don't think it was Emmy or Rin. Shizune looks a bit annoyed that I would imply she would start with anyone else, and smiles confidently, as though a friend's sadness is a physical opponent she could just strangle into submission. Of course, obviously, naturally. Taking off her glasses, she leans back in her chair and lets out a sigh. It's the first time I've seen her without them on, but I don't get a good look before she slips them back on. But I'm too tired to start today. First thing tomorrow. Do you want to help? Yeah. And I have other student council stuff you could help me with while you're at it. Although it turns out there isn't much other work at all. Maybe that's just her way of like saying she wants to spend time together. I know, like I can't see that being like part of Shizune's personality, that she's not good at doing nothing with people. That she kind of wants an excuse to hang out. There's no school today, so I expected to be able to sleep in late. Unfortunately, I'm awakened by someone mercilessly pounding on my door at 8 in the morning. At first, I think it could be Kenji, but when my shouts of annoyance go unanswered, I realize it's Shizune. She did say first thing in the morning, and you did agree. She immediately backs away from the door when I open it, quickly concealing something behind her back. Kind of ominous. What's that? Is it a surprise? I don't really like surprises. The displeased expression on her face says that she wants me to stop being such a wet blanket, but she's too busy fumbling with what's behind her back to sign it. It must be frustrating for her, because seconds later she swings the object out proudly, and also a little dangerously. Also, if it's a picnic basket, how was she successfully hiding it behind her back? Picnic baskets tend to be fairly hefty. Ta-da! A picnic basket. We can have lunch together, the three of us. Oh, it's not really a basket. It looks more like a plastic bag. Taking a quick look inside, I can see that most of the food inside is also store-bought, not homemade. Some items still have the price stickers on. There's a very diverse selection here, though. Even a tiny tin of caviar. I'm slowly becoming more impressed with this lunch. I pick a grape out of there and pop it into my mouth. Don't just take things like that. I spent all night perfecting this final weapon. Panic bag. Shizune places it down on the ground to free up her hands and immediately starts playfully tapping it between her feet like a soccer ball. Definitely not what you should do to anything you're going to call a final weapon. All part of my get Misha to stop being so depressed plan. I stayed up all last night working on it. When we tried to order in last time, Misha barely got anything, and used it as an excuse to leave early. I won't let her get off so easily this time. The food is already here. She'll have to sit down and eat with us. It's the perfect bait. Doesn't everything look irresistible? I tried to make it myself, but I don't know how to make it look all fancy, so I ended up buying everything. Still, looks delicious, doesn't it? It should be. She's very perky today. Juiced up on the thought of cheering Misha up. Although it's odd to see her so happy about it. I know that she's just as unsure now as she was yesterday. The only thing that has changed is that by viewing it as another sort of challenge for herself, she can put her worries aside and throw herself into it recklessly. It has worked well enough for Shizune so far. It wouldn't surprise me if it's the only way she knows how to live. It's a little early though. It's already late 8 in the morning. That's late. Even Misha gets up at 8 or 9. She goes to bed at 7 p.m, but that isn't important. I had been wondering about that. I've kind of like had like the wonder for a while, like does Misha have some kind of condition? Like it was like related to her sleep. I was starting to get the idea. Because I think what really kind of like got me feeling like maybe there's something about it was when we were at the Shanghai that one time, and she looked out and it was dark and like immediately started feeling tired. And then I know before at the festival, I think it was Tanabata, the Tanabata festival, she again, like, she needed to head home early because she was feeling really tired. And now she's saying that she goes to bed at 7 p.m, which is pretty... 7 p.m.'s pretty early. Not at least not as far as I've heard. Yeah. Okay, it does seem like there's something up, unless it's to do with her depression. And like she's, I don't know. But no, then it doesn't feel like it would quite sync up so much with darkness. I don't know. Always took it as her getting away from Shizune. I mean, I suppose you could see it that way, but like the moment that like clinched it for me was like in the Shanghai when Shizune wasn't there. It was just Misha and Hisao. No, but if it's never confirmed, it's never confirmed. It just like seems like there's something there. Because like I think like especially for like in your final year of high school, like having a strict 7 o'clock bedtime's pretty early. Oh, excuse me. Especially if she's not getting up until 8 or 9. Because she's sleeping for more than 12 hours. Yeah, like that's... Yeah, if she gets up at 8 or 9, like that's 12 hours of sleep she's trying to get a night. Which is... Like, that's not only like more than I think you should be getting, but I think like that's like your body shouldn't... I don't, like, does it... Yeah, I feel like there's something in the background there. It's very important. Shizune ignores me, gagging my hands by taking them in hers instead of a more proper rebuttal. The way she lingers against me a moment longer than expected feels really comforting. The point is, she's awake right now, walking around somewhere. Let's go find her. She sprints out the door impatiently, and her gusto as she drags me along looking for Misha makes me feel more like I'm following a hunter on a safari than looking for a mutual friend. We don't have to look very hard. Even cropped short, her pink hair stands out. The fact that she's just meandering around the grounds out in the open makes it even easier. Now I'm sounding like a safari hunter. Misha! Huh? We were just looking for you. It's a good day for a picnic. You should join us. We even have caviar. Not sturgeon, of course, but really tasty. Caviar? Surgeon? Apparently finding it annoying to have to explain everything at length with only one hand, Shizune gives up quickly. Fish eggs. What? It tastes good. Sorry, Shichan, I think I'll pass for today. See, the other thing, yeah, kind of that reminds me of another thing I noticed about Misha is that she does seem to have some like language struggles. Like a few times she seemed to get stuck on words. And I just wonder, like, there's... Like, I kind of, it'd be interesting to, like, to have, like, even if there wasn't, like, if it wasn't a romantic route, but just a route that focused on Misha. Because I feel like there's things in the background, that's just her personality stereotype, as bubbly and like, yeah. Maybe. No, but but they've already kind of like deconstructed that a bit in that, like, she does have depth to her. And it's kind of like what's yeah, the whole Chekhov's gun idea. Like, it's been brought attention to enough times that it feels like it's deliberate. When Misha starts to walk away, Shizune holds the bag out towards me, needing me to take it so that her hands can be free. As soon as it's out of her hands, she darts in front of Misha, cutting her off. I made so much food, though. Sorry, I'm just not hungry right now. When are you going to be hungry, then? Shichan, that's impossible to know. You can guess? The tension between them infuriates Shizune, and she's trying to deal with it by trying to tear through it, but that approach isn't going to work. I'd thought and hoped that Misha had gotten herself together, but I guess she was just cut too deep by what happened. In that case, it's really out of anyone's hands. I believe that Shizune might understand that on some level. If she didn't, she wouldn't have any doubts at all. Because she can't speak, though, I've learned to notice her hesitation. It's very clear, she might as well be screaming. Misha waves her hands in front of her, not wanting to continue the discussion any further, and quickly slips away. Shizune fumes silently, reluctant to let her go, but having no way to keep her here. As Misha's back grows smaller in the distance, I wonder where she's heading off to. Is Shizune wondering the same thing as she bites her lip in frustration? I want to touch her reassuringly on the shoulder, but I stop myself, not knowing if it's the right thing to do. Not because she looks fragile, vulnerable, or sad, it's the opposite. After a while, her expression belies no emotion at all, only contemplation. Suddenly she whirls around. Now all this food is going to go to waste. Yeah. That makes me mad. Although it's obvious Shizune is more hurt than mad. The bag dangling from my hand feels like it's filled with lead. Oh, let's go on a date. Let's use it then. Oh. Where do you want to go? I don't know. The roof. It's my favorite spot. A wry smile appears on her face, disappearing just as quickly. On the roof, I immediately crack open the caviar, ignoring a derisive look from Shizune all the while. I end up putting it down immediately. Where are the toast points? I didn't make any. Like I told you, I bought everything. Not toast points, though. Why is that important? Anyway, they don't sell just toast points. That would be stupid. What are toast points? For a moment I thought of it like kind of like if you're having a toast, like it's the things you're toasting to. But, I bet they do. Maybe in stores for the exceptionally lazy, but not here. Why don't you use a tortilla chip? Okay, they like... Toast points. What are toast points? In this root's case, you think I'm overthinking it, you offer a needle of help. I suppose that's fair, but my brain overthinks things. No. I overthink things in all the wrong places. A tortilla chip is not the same. They're both triangles. Stop being such a princess. I didn't know there was a proper way to eat caviar. This is the first I'm hearing of it. It's not the same thing at all. I can't be decadent like this. And anyway, how could she not know? She lives in a huge mansion. Shizune takes the opportunity to scoop half the tin onto a single chip in the meantime. I think there's a lot of input from the authors to include more depth, but it's not fleshed out enough. I suppose that's fair. That maybe like the other, yeah, if the other authors like thought, maybe just shut up and eat your caviar. Oh no, caviar is one of those things that never, the idea of it never appealed to me. Hey, I'm sure it doesn't even taste good like that. There is too much food here for two people. Because we can't communicate with each other while we eat, both Shizune and I have a lot of time to sit in silence and think about the fact that Misha, the person she set all this up for, isn't here. Tried it once and it was gross. Yeah, it looks like... It always seemed to me like one of those foods that you buy just to prove you can. Not because it actually tastes nice. Unless it was a cheap brand of caviar. It might have been, but I don't know. Because I think that's the thing, I've never heard like someone like say caviar is good. It seems like it's more just... Like, it's more just a statement. Like it's a prestige thing more than actual like nice food. It's annoying that she isn't here. I can't even enjoy my meal like this. I stare at the paper cup next to her, still half full of juice. I thought you didn't want all this food to go to waste. I wanted Misha to be here too. That was the whole point. I wasn't able to accomplish what I wanted to, so it doesn't taste good. You should eat it. Eat more. I want the fried things though. You keep eating them all, even though you say they don't taste good. Fried things are always delicious. There's always an exception for them. That's a... You'll get fat. I think you're being too aggressive. It's like I told you yesterday. I'm only trying to cheer her up. Yeah, but it seems more like you're planning a military campaign. I'm only trying to take it seriously. And this is the only way I know how to do it seriously. I feel so powerless, I hate it. I can't even yell at her too, even though I want to. Yelling is for serious occasions, right? Yeah. I think YouTube just censored it, but it's either that or copy. I don't think it's censoring caviar. Well, I suppose Mooney's on Twitch, isn't she? Which probably has different censorship. You should yell at Misha for me. You can tell her that I want to stop being so down. Even if she feels sad and alone, it's no reason to stay gloomy forever. Just like Shizune is just like, just get over it. Why don't you? I already did. Over a game of dice. Under over to be exact. I won 5 times. Only the two of them would take so much pride in winning games of pure chance. Then I tried to talk to her, but it didn't go so well, obviously. Stop being sassy. Yeah. Well, so did I. I tried and failed. My goal has always been to do everything better, though. Yeah, your one-upmanship is really something. But I failed too. That's why I want your help. I don't understand what I'm supposed to do anymore. For someone like Shizune, who has only ever interacted with the world by locking horns with every obstacle in her path, understanding only goes so far. Nope. I want to tell her that she doesn't have to worry. That she's great at cheering people up, because she managed to cheer me up my first week here. In retrospect, I must have looked like kind of a dick, being in such a sour mood from the moment I came here, even though I don't think I was being unreasonable. Just a little bit, Isao. Even having months to digest it, finding out that you have a heart defect like I did is hard to deal with. I'd had much less time to mull over suddenly being transferred to Yamako on top of that. Spending the festival with Shizune really helped me out of a rut. I was happy, enough to forget that the entire time it had felt as though she was manipulating me. I understand now that I'd allowed myself to be manipulated. Even though I felt like I was at the bottom of the world, I still wanted to have a normal life again. I'm sure because I enjoy what I have now. I think it must be the same for everyone, including Misha. Oh, excuse me. Everyone wants someone there to pull them up, out of their self-pity. It's just that Misha always wanted Shizune to be that person, but because they can't be together, I think Misha feels that she can't accept Shizune's hand. And that frustrates Shizune. But if she could cheer up a stranger like me, then she'll die trying with Misha. Oh. So was that maybe a difference? Like, Shizune thinks they can... It's much easier for Shizune just to think they can still be friends. And Misha, it's... Oh. Trying to think back to Misha's story and find out like, when she developed romantic feelings for Shizune. Because it's got me wondering, like one of the things I think can be a common issue with relationships, particularly in high school, is like, did they have romantic, like were her feelings romantic before they really had a proper friendship? Because then in her mind it could be a case of she doesn't know like what they... It's hard to see what they had before. I can see it in her eyes too. Though she tries to treat it like any other problem in her life, Shizune cannot do that with Misha's depression. Her thought processes are entirely different. In some ways more careful, in some ways more reckless and frenetic. She cares that much more. I end up not saying anything, partly because sitting next to her like this, just the two of us, is pleasant enough in itself that I don't want to interrupt the moment with a question. And partly for a more cowardly reason. I've started to think they weren't, but I don't know if her actions that day might not have been an afterthought, or even a fluke. Just a collection of coincidences. I don't know if that would change anything, but I'm uncomfortable thinking about it. The fence behind me trembles slightly, and I turn to see that it's because Shizune has fallen asleep leaning against it. Considering she was up all night, it's not surprising. where does all that motivation come from? Not just in regards to Misha. I'm cynical, so it's hard for me to just accept that anyone can simply be that strong. My first thought was that maybe it's because she hates herself. It's very plausible. Leaning against her, I feel sad knowing that that might be the case. But it could be that we're similar and that we both want to be better people. Oh. Okay. I know given the context that happened and it wasn't likely for anything to happen, but I was still kind of hoping that them having a date of sorts would have more of a discussion about them. Oh, but I think I'm going to save here just because I've got the usual Thursday plans, and I might, if I start another scene, it might, well, one, I did save, didn't I? Yes, I did. Invasion. If I start another scene, it might take me over time, but also, if I check the library, how... Oh, that's Rin. Shizune. Okay, yeah. Okay. Yeah, so today we got through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh no, this is the one we just started. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So I think... Yeah, I think if I finish there, next stream, so that'll be next Tuesday? Yeah. Next Tuesday? I guess it went longer than I thought for this. Yeah, I think so next Tuesday, I think I'll maybe just have a longer stream and finish it. Because I feel at the rate I'm going through it that like I'll probably get through like most of this if I did a normal length stream, and then I'd only have like a very short next stream, so I think maybe just having one longer stream might be better. But that is it for my solo streams this week. I'll be back with Katawa Shoujo next week, and I'll be keeping on with some horror games. I've got at least 3 more I want to give a try. Getting close, sad thought. Yeah, it's a little. Though to be fair, on the other hand, I'm also kind of. I've been working through Katawa Shoujo for a while. What's my current playtime on Steam? Yeah, but I'm at 70 hours on it. Which what can I? Let's. If I were to just check my library on Game Pass, can I? In Game Pass. Right, can I just search Persona 3? How much play do you track my playtime, Xbox? I don't think you do. Which is a little... View game in the library. Time played 5... Never mind, I'm not even close. It's not even close. Well, actually, no, that's 40... Actually, yeah, like 70 hours is actually quite a long time. That's... I'll probably have like 3 full days having played Katawa Shoujo. By the time I finish. And when was the first stream? Where's my playlists? Katawa Shoujo. Videos. The first one. So I started back in June. So it's been half a year in Katawa Shoujo. So yeah. Well, I have been enjoying it and such. I have to admit, I'm at a point where I'm kind of like, it'll be nice to move on to something different. As kind of like my long form game. I'm thinking probably, like, my thoughts at the moment are leaning towards doing another Final Fantasy game, because I know I had been working through them, and I've still got quite a few others left to go. So I'm thinking Final Fantasy, yeah. I think it was Final Fantasy 3 was the last one I did, so I'll probably start Final Fantasy 4. Just to be fair, how long has it been since I did Final Fantasy 3? I'll go back to my playlists list. Final Fantasy 3. So this was back... Yeah, it's been a year. Nearly. It was December I started Final Fantasy 3. So yeah, it'll be nice to do to go for a bit more of that. Final Fantasy. Oh yeah, because Final Fantasy 2 was a year before that again, and Final Fantasy 1 was a year before. Yeah. Okay, so apparently, like, it's a I play a Final Fantasy December, January each year. Maybe that's going to become a bit of a tradition in my channel. But yeah. So, that will be me for today. And I'll be back on Friday, Saturday with Mooney again to continue our tour through Final Fantasy XIV. We're into the deserts of Amarang. And that is... Cool. Yeah, after that we'll be getting close to the end of Shadowbringers. We've got 3 locations left in Shadowbringers, and then we're on to Endwalker. So, yeah. But as usual, all my schedules and stuff for things are up on... they're up on my Discord. There's links to that in both my YouTube and my Twitch. And yeah, otherwise I'll just say thank you for coming along. I hope you enjoyed. And until the next stream, I hope you have a good day, have a good evening, and goodbye.